Hello, everyone. I
I
am
am Sarah.
Sarah Modrak, and I am the LEAP, which is also known as ESL or English as a Second Language Specialist for the county. And I work with the Welcome Center. Today, I also have our registrar from the Welcome Center, Tina Dunkelman, and she's going to walk through some of the parts of our agenda today as well. So today we are going to kind of give an overview of the Welcome Center, talk about ways in which we can support language assistance for families who are limited in their English speaking or are new to the country, as well as other community resources that can help with both language assistance and other services. And then talk a little bit about how do we enroll students through the Welcome Center. It follows the same procedures as all students in the county, but we are specifically working with students and families who are new to the country or who may be coming from another state and speak another language. And so we're going to kind of go through some of that process on our end. And then if we have time, we can take any questions, and we have our contact information for you as well. So to get started, the Welcome Center is sometimes a confusing name because it sounds like it should be open to all, and we do try to help as many people as we can. We are specifically here to support families who speak another language. So we work with families who are new to the country to help them get set up in school, to help them connect with other services, to determine if students need support with English in school. And we also provide parent education classes. So we do have a link on the Henrico website, which I have put at the top there for you. We are located at the campus of J.R. Tucker High School in our own kind of part of the building. We have our own office and entrance. And again, we're here kind of helping families in all of the number of areas listed, but with language support, registering for school, looking at English proficiency, sharing connections to other resources, and we also do parent education classes to help parents with their English as well. And we generally field a number of calls every day, just trying to help our families who speak a different language. At the center, we are staffed by 5 wonderful women who do a variety of things, including registration. We do have Spanish-speaking interpreters. We connect with our other interpreters through the county. We do some teaching. We help with lots of different testing and just connecting families with the information that they need. To support language assistance, as many of our families who speak another language, the first part that we look at is what's called the home language survey. And this is something every family in Henrico fills out when they register. This lets us know if there are other languages spoken in the home. It also lets us know a preferred language for families to be communicated with. So this lets us know if a family, say for example, speaks Arabic and they want to get phone calls or written information from the school in Arabic. They have that option to put that down there. This is something that we use at the Welcome Center as well as schools. And so when they are contacting a family, they will look up this information to see, and we provide through the schools interpreter assistance so that they can contact the family in a language that the family prefers. We help coordinate that interpretation. Families also can request interpreters, and a lot of times our families don't realize this, but they can absolutely ask for interpreters when they are going to the school, or they can, a lot of times because they know us here at the Welcome Center, they'll call here and ask us to assist in that manner. We also provide from the county translated documents that schools can use to communicate in other languages as well. Being kind of new to the country or new to the area, we also try to help families connect with other resources. So I've listed just a couple of resources who can support with different languages, but also in connecting with different resources. So the Henrico Health Department, we'll talk about in a few minutes, but they can help us connect with immunizations or well checks. Department of Social Services is a great resource. They can help families to receive benefits, to find childcare, housing assistance. many things that families who are new may need assistance with. There are a lot of local faith communities who also assist families that speak other languages and are new, and so those are great resources. They do things like provide adult ESL classes. They provide, a lot of them have food pantries. They also help with just families connecting with housing and different things that they would need if they are new to the country or the area. Sacred Heart and Reestablish Richmond also are some ones, other resources that specifically work with families who are refugees or immigrants and new to the country to help connect them with different services and resources throughout the area. So those are all great resources. And like I said, that is just a short list of some that are out there. And that's one of the things that we also work on through the Welcome Center, is kind of helping families connect with those resources if they need them. So now that families are here and established, then it is time for registering for school. And that can be a hard process to navigate through. And so that is one of our big roles here at the Welcome Center. So Tina Duck Almond is our registrar and kind of our guru of questions to answers to all things. So she is going to kind of walk through that process and what it looks like for our students.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Tina. I'm the registrar at the Welcome Center, as Sarah mentioned. With regards to registration, the families at the Welcome Center are required to bring all of the documents that any student enrolling in Henrico County Public Schools would need to bring. Residency is a big one to show that they live in Henrico County. So they are required to have a lease, or in some cases a mortgage if they've purchased a home. They are required to have the utility bill. They're required to have photo ID. When proving that they live in the Henrico County area, sometimes we come across families that have rented an apartment for another family to live in. So we have to work through issues with a notarized letter stating that they did do that. The family has to get the correct bills, the correct identification. Business mail is a big thing that we try to use. We sometimes get creative working alongside the residency compliance office to make sure that what we're accepting is sufficient. The family also has to get the immunization records, which is where the Henrico Health Department comes in, which Sarah will talk about that as well. The photo ID, it has to be something that shows the parent's name and the picture so that we know they're in fact the parents of the children, the birth certificates and things of that nature. The immunization piece, when the families come here, depending on the country that they are coming from, it may depend on needing to get updated immunizations or immunizations in general. So certain countries do follow the same immunization requirements. However, they may have been given at birth as opposed to 3 months of age. So we're having to look at the number of immunizations they have. We're having to look at the increments in which they've been received. And then that's when we begin to correspond with the health department or the caravan to inquire about getting appointments for the family or helping them with conditional enrollments and explaining to them the immunizations and why they're needed and that sort of thing.
So when students come to register, one of the confusing things, especially for families who come from another country, is grade placement. So when we place students in a grade here in the US, it is by their age or birthday at the time of enrollment. And so when we are working with schools for that grade placement, that is generally what we are going by. A lot of times families can get confused with this because here in our country, we have kindergarten, whereas many other countries don't have what they call kindergarten. They just call school year one or first grade. And so it looks like sometimes students are getting placed a year back when really it's actually the same grade. just because of the difference in the terminology. We really work with families and the school to help make sure that students are placed in the right area. And that's done on a case-by-case basis in case there are any extenuating circumstances. One of the other components that is part of the Welcome Center is doing an English assessment. So for students who speak another language or another language is spoken in the home, we are mandated federally to assess students to determine if they also would require English as a second language services. So that screening is done by Welcome Center staff, and it just looks at different areas of English, including speaking, reading, listening, and writing. And we use that screening that is done by WIDA to determine if a student needs those services. If they are found eligible for those services, then the parents are notified of their rights and what those services looks like. Students are entitled to accommodations through school as well, and the school is also notified, and the student then receives the additional support that they need as long as they need it until they are shown to be proficient or master of English. They are students who do receive those services are assessed annually until they do meet that mastery, at which point then they may still receive some accommodations, but they no longer will receive those English services. So that is mostly what we do through the Welcome Center, and that was very short and sweet, but we would be happy to take any questions that any of you may have at this time.